What's up, YouTube? So I want to share with you 3 secrets of success today that can really change everything for you if you learn to master them and apply them in your life. And these are pretty simple, straightforward things that may shock you how simple they are, and yet if you really review them and think about them in your life, you'll realize that so many of us don't actually know these things or do these things, and we kind of leave them on the outskirts of our mind or our brain to our own detriment. So if you can hear what I'm saying in this video and apply these 3 things to your life, it will give you such a good foundation for moving forward and to becoming successful in your life. So I'm going to give you a quick 3 secrets of success, and then I'm going to go into detail on how you can take action steps on these and how you can actually implement them in your life. So number 1 is actually making a decision to be successful and believing that you can achieve the success and the wealth that you want in your life. All right, that's fairly simple, but I will get into that. So number 2 is learning to pay yourself first. Most of us have heard that over and over and over again, but they have no idea what that actually means in their life. So I'm going to talk about how you can truly start paying yourself first and what kind of difference that can make in your life. We're going to talk about setting up a future fortune account that you don't touch other than for investments that continually and consistently grows your wealth in greater and greater ways. Now, number 3 is consistent self-improvement, personal development, and application of new ideas. Learning to truly think and apply new things to your life and business. Now, as I said, these are very simple things, but as we get into the details and the depth of each one of these steps, these secrets of success, you'll see how, while they're obvious and they are very straightforward, there's so many pieces of these that we typically leave out of our life and don't apply to our own detriment, and therefore we're left struggling and wanting and wishing and hoping for success, but never truly achieving it, all right? So let's get into this. Number 1, making up your mind that you will be successful, deciding that you want it, deciding that it is available to you, and that you actually have a right to be successful. That's something I've talked about a handful of times on this channel, is your right to be rich, your right to be successful. You know, the number 1 reason that most people don't become wealthy or improve their life is because it never really occurs to them that they can, that they're able to, that that's an option for them. We're typically the average of the 5 or 10 people that we surround ourselves with. And so if you look at the environment that you grew up with, you look at the friends that are around you, you look at the people that you're doing life with. And I'm not saying that is necessarily a bad thing, but you typically average out where they're at, their wealth, their success, their passion for life, their discipline. All of those things have an impact on you. And so if you've grown up in a place where you don't know a lot of rich people, you're not consistently hanging out with rich people that are striving to better their lives, to better their wealth, to do great things entrepreneurially, you may not have the access to that wisdom, that knowledge, that inspiration, that motivation to do the same in your life. And so most people don't make up their minds that it's doable for them, that they should be successful, that they are able to achieve the absolute greatness in their life. And so we all want it in some way, shape, or form, but humans tend to like to have something that's outside of their reach. And so we'll say, I want to be rich and successful, but I'm never really going to strive for that because I don't truly believe that I can have it. But I actually desire to have something in my life that I'm always striving for and reaching for, but never getting, because it gives us excuses to say that life's not fair, or that, you know, there's reasons that we don't have what we want, or we're not where we want to be in life, and it's just outside of ourselves. But you have to know that we have a tendency to desire that as people, to leave something outside of our grasp that we don't truly go for because we like our excuses. And so you have to make up your mind to say, no, no, no. I'm going to take that dream, that want, that wish, and I'm going to pull it into reality and say, I will be successful. I will have the life that I want to have, and I will achieve the greatness that I desire to achieve. And so once you own that, once you decide that you will be successful, and you set up your mind, you determine to make yourself pursue those dreams, those passions, those ideas, and turn them into real action steps, all of it can start to change for you. Okay? Number 2 is learning to pay yourself first. Now, we all have heard this consistently over and over again. Any book about entrepreneurship will tell you pay yourself first is the number 1 most important rule. But if you're anything like me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you, or it didn't, for me at least. You know, I went maybe 10 years in my business before I really knew what it meant to pay myself first. There I was making money, building a business But every dollar that I made had to go somewhere. It had to go back into my business to grow it. It had to go towards my bills, my rents, my utilities, my life, right? How many of us live paycheck to paycheck and never get ahead, and we think there is no extra money? How am I going to pay myself first? Does paying myself first mean that I, just take the money that I need to pay my bills and pay my life? Well, it doesn't mean that at all. And what it truly means is actually taking the money that you make and having a piece of that is yours to keep, that no one else has a claim on, that the bills, utilities, rent, any demands of life, your debts have no claim to a piece of all that you earn. The Richest Man in Babylon, the book, great book by George S. Clausen, says it this way: a piece of all that I earn is mine to keep. And if you get that concept drilled into your head, every dollar that comes in, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, a piece of that is yours to keep. Now we'll talk about how big of a piece to keep, and we'll talk about what that means to keep it, right? But it doesn't mean paying your bills with it. It doesn't mean paying your rent with it. It doesn't mean funding your life with it. It means taking a percentage and putting it aside into a future fortune account. Now that future fortune account can be a savings account. It can be a desk drawer for now. Wherever you need to start is absolutely fine. The key issue is that you actually just get started and build this habit wherever you are in your life. And if you would build this habit as your life increases, as your income increases, as you improve and your business grows, you will keep that habit consistently and your wealth will grow more and more and more. So I didn't have any extra money, right? I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was funding my business with every dollar that I made. I was putting it back into my company, consistently just trying to grow. I'm scraping by. I'm paying rent in LA. It's expensive. Like, where am I going to pay myself first? I'm always trying to increase my income so that I can actually have some money left over. But every time my income increases, I'm just putting more into my business to grow my income more and more. That's not paying yourself first. And so it finally dawned on me, after studying some great mentors and reading some amazing books about this, that I needed to take a percentage of all that I made and just put it aside that I do not touch. And then eventually I would have this purse, this growth account with some money in it, some weight to it that I can consistently reinvest into other ways and grow and grow and grow. So it doesn't matter what's going on in my life and my earnings and my business, I always have something that's growing my wealth. And so I started with 1% because I didn't know where the extra money was going to come from. I was tapped, man. I didn't have any extra money. So I started with 1%, thinking if I can just pull 1% of everything I make and put it into an account, maybe I won't miss that. And sure enough, 1% later, I didn't even miss it. I didn't even know it was gone, but I saw that I had this small, tiny pool of money growing, which began to change everything for me. So if you're an employee, it's very simple. You just pull a little bit of money out of your paycheck, whatever percentage that you won't miss, and start putting it aside. And then consistently, we're going to step up and do more and more and more. So 1% turns into 2, 3, 4, 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, and eventually your life, your income is increasing because you're doing the work, the personal development, you're building yourself in new ways to grow your skills to make more money. But your percentages that you're pulling away are consistently increasing with that increase in income. And so your wealth is growing, your income is increasing, but your expenditures are about the same because you're putting your money to a better use than just spending it, just blowing it. And oftentimes we all can scrape by a little bit that we're just spending on frivolous things. And I'm not telling you to cut that out completely. I'm just telling you that there is some piece there that you can pull aside and put away for yourself while you learn to grow your wealth. And this is an absolutely crucial step. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, it's a little different, right? You're not making profit purely. You're making a mix of product cost and business cost and profit, and you don't really know what that is until you sit down and calculate it out. So what I had to do was I had, a couple dollars coming in here and there and all over the place in different amounts at different times, and so there's no structure or consistency or predictability to it. And so what I would do is every week I would look back at how much money came in and calculate what of that was cost of doing business and what of that was profit. And out of that profit, I would pull, like I said, 1%, then 2, then 3, then 4%, then 5%, up to 15%. Month after month, I would just try and increase what I was pulling out of that and see where the pain came in that I could no longer increase that until I got more income. But I would pull aside, a percentage of all that was profit. So I'd separate the cost of doing business and I'd pay that back into wherever I took it from. And I'm left with a chunk of profit that I have to pay my life with, my rent, my bills, all that stuff. But I'd pull a small piece of that and put it into a new account. And when I would do that, I would notice that I started to have a little pool of wealth that was growing. And as I began to experience a little bit of wealth in my life that wasn't always going back into my business, and so I wasn't perpetually broke, everything began to change for me. So we can talk a lot more about that later, but I hope that gives you a good foundation on how to pay yourself first. I want to kind of keep this video under 15 minutes, hopefully, just so I can get the point across to you guys and get you going on these principles. So believe that you have a right to be successful. Make up your mind to be so. Set your heart on it and say, I will do these things that I desire to accomplish. And then I'm going to pay myself first, because that's going to start building your wealth. If you miss that habit, it will never change for you. Start paying yourself first. If you have a question about how to truly do that in your life or your business, leave it in the comment below and we'll discuss it and really talk about how that's doable. All right, number 3, consistently improving yourself, personal growth, self-improvement, mentorship, reading books, thinking new ideas. Earl Nightingale said that, if man truly said what he was thinking, he'd be silent. Most people don't know how to think, and so what you need to learn how to do is truly think. Look at your habits, look at your life, look at the decisions that you're making, and understand why you're doing the things you're doing. And if there's a better way to do it, what would that be? How would you have more energy? How would you be more disciplined, more effective, more efficient, more on point with what you're working towards? Find mentors, find people that are going to teach you success, teach you the way to get what it is that you're working towards, people that have done it before you. Read books, and what most people that are successful are doing when they read consistently, they're not just trying to digest a ton of information. They're looking for one idea in a book that will change their life or their business. And so they may read 200, 300 pages, but all they're looking for is that one idea that they can implement that will change the way that they're doing stuff and improve and bring in more income. You are one idea away from being rich at any given time. So consistently think and brainstorm and plan, and then apply those ideas that come to you. I had an idea a couple years ago about expanding my screen printing business and my clothing company business, and just a way to reach out to new customers and get this huge base of new income coming in from new customers and clients. And it seemed daunting to me, and I didn't even know if it was possible, but I dreamt it up. And I remember writing an email to my family and my friends and saying, I'm thinking about doing this. I don't know, can someone give me some encouragement and some reinforcement that this might actually work? And I got mixed reviews. Some people were like, it's not worth it. Some people were like, that's too daunting. And other people said, go for it, man. And so I decided to go for it. And I'll tell you this, it took my business to 6 figures by just doing that one idea a few years ago. It changed everything. And it was just a simple process that I hadn't thought up before, that took a little bit of effort and a little bit of dreaming and a little bit of hope. But I made a plan and I went after it, and it changed everything for me. So you are one idea away from changing your life and your business. You want to constantly be applying yourself to personal development, making yourself better, more efficient, more effective, more on point, doing your life in a better way, right? Learning business, learning marketing, learning new skills. And then you want to read books and look for those ideas that can change things for you, and find mentors that are doing life in the way that you want to be doing life, so that you can change how you are. And if you will do that, everything will change for you. Jim Rohn says, if you will change, everything will change. But if you don't change, nothing will change. You're waiting for the world to change, but it's not going to change anything for you. You're hoping and you're wanting and you're wishing and you're waiting. But we need to turn that into action steps. If you will change, if you will identify what it is that you want and how you're going to get there, even if you don't know all of the steps, but start taking steps, changing and improving consistently, you will get there. These new ideas will flood into your mind as you set your mind on whatever success you're going after. You will have these sparks of inspiration, these ideas, these drives, and as you implement them, you will notice that everything starts to change. There is so much money on the table in your life and in your business right now, I guarantee you. And if you would just step back and think, how do I start taking in more of that? How do I get more customers? How do I impact the customers that I have in a better way? How do I add more value? Start implementing those ideas and everything will change. So guys, that's 3 secrets to success right there. Number 1, decide that you will be successful. Make up your mind to be and believe that it's possible for you. Number 2, pay yourself first and do that consistently. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate your comments on the video. Thanks for watching. Consistently just pay yourself first. And then number 3, always be thinking of new ideas. Always be learning new ways to improve your life, to improve your business, and brainstorm and plan and apply yourself to personal development. And those 3 things will give you the foundation to be wildly successful in your life. And so if you have any questions about those, leave them in the comments down below. We'll talk about this, we'll discuss it. But this is the foundation of becoming successful and getting what you want out of your life and your business. And we'll talk about some more of these later. But thank you guys for watching. I'm Kai Block with Limitless North. God bless you. We'll catch you on the next one.